Alright guys, so I got the Timney trigger in, and I haven't gone to the range yet with it, but I've been dry firing with it, trying to figure out if I like it really. It is definitely different. Definitely different in quite a few ways. So it is the Glock Alpha, and so I mean basically you remove the trigger in the trigger bar, and then the return spring for the trigger, that's gone, and this new, I mean, it's like a new receiver. It goes actually inside of the trigger housing. I don't know where my frame is really, but yeah, it goes in the trigger housing, and then it's kind of weird. The return spring, it's literally riding on the trigger itself through the lower trigger pin. So far, I mean, it's got a little bit of take up, and then you hit a pretty good wall, and it's gonna break through the wall. It is definitely a soft trigger. Not really mushy. Yeah, you know, it's pretty positive. I had, in the beginning, I mean, I'm off the trigger fast, but trying to ride the trigger, you know, just to see slowly. There were a couple times where it didn't come all the way back and really reset. And lately it's been doing it fine, but the safety wasn't engaging, and it really wasn't resetting. But I mean, if you're off and back on, you know, it's there's a little bit different noise. I mean, I don't know if there's like a little rattle of the firing pin or the striker assembly. I can't really pinpoint it, but I mean, the trigger that was in it was the agency. And if you saw the last video, a couple of videos of this thing, the first one, I mean, it was just dangerous. It would not like, you couldn't pull it. It'd be like 20, 30 pounds of force to try to get it go off. And Timney was great. They sent, agency was really good about it. They sent a new one. Haven't had any issues with this one, but a buddy told me to try this one out, see how I liked it, so I did. Setup is definitely different. So in here is the trigger return spring. So it's actually on the lower trigger spring, or lower trigger pin, retain pin, and then it just it rides on the top pin, and then the trigger itself. So it's pushing it forward. See if I get some light on it. For sure, a different setup. And yeah, I was kind of doing that. I mean, but you know, with the slide on, it doesn't do that anymore. But in the very beginning, it did it a few times, and kind of strange. But here is the new trigger bar. Obviously, it doesn't have like the cross anymore. It's just a single bar. Still uses the, well, actually, it does still use the, man, I haven't played with Glocks in so long. The connecting, or the connector, and, I'm sorry again. It still uses the connector, but this is actually, this little receiver housing is going in to the triggers, the trigger housing, and then it's almost like a it's almost like a leaf spring. You know, it's got tension, but it just kind of, when you pull the trigger back, it pushes down in the leaf spring, and that's when that's what's gonna release the striker, and you know, right off the nose of the striker. I haven't messed with this like polishing or anything, but you can see there's no more return spring. So definitely outside of the box thinking by Timney. I'm just not sure yet, really. I don't know. It feels good though. I don't know about reliability. I don't know about, you know, yeah. Don't know. It's definitely gonna take some getting used to in my brain to try to trust it. And gonna be a lot of rounds. But I mean, with dry firing it like I have been, it's yeah, I just don't know. I don't know about it. I'll probably either stick with this if it works out well. I'll get a range video up as soon as I can get to the range. And I mean, it's either going to be this, or I'm just going to go back to basically the OEM Glock trigger, just so I, you know, can have all the faith in the world in it. This agency trigger kind of took that away from doing aftermarket triggers on Glocks. I've had plenty of aftermarket triggers on all sorts of different guns, but yeah, I don't know. And I mean, this thing's not really used in any critical role at all. It was a carry for a little bit, and I mean, it'll be on my kit for a little bit, but yeah, it's not my go-to anymore. But I mean, I'm never gonna, you know, I'm always gonna have a Glock 19, so I just like playing with it. Yeah, it's got the Grey Ghost barrel in it, and some, you know, some upgrades along the way that I've done, just little by little, just to kind of make it my own. Obviously, like that everyone else does, but for right now, it's pretty much it's in the safe, easy to get to. So in case I need it downstairs, it's good to go. But yeah, just not sold on it yet, but it's got some hope. Hope that helps anyone out that's like kind of on the fence about them. And I mean, it is a competition series trigger, so not sure how it's gonna hold up defensively or anything, but we will see. I'll put it through the paces, see how it goes when it gets dirty, and I'll keep an update for you guys. Thanks.